Andy Griffith Show fans will realize that the Mayberry Security Bank was used in a number of episodes of the Andy Griffith Show and was the center of the plot line. It usually had to do with somebody robbing the bank by deceiving Andy and Barney in an attempt to gain the vast riches held in the bank vault. Now, the bank has 3 employees. The security guard's name is Asa Breeny. He's always alert and on duty. The bank manager is Mr. Meldrum, and boy, the casting was spot on for that. He really looks like a bank manager. And then there's Harriet, and she's the bank teller. These 3 make the Mayberry Security Bank one of the best places to be in Mayberry, other than Floyd's Barber Shop. The look at the runnings of the bank and the employees takes place in an episode called The Bank Job. Barney is just intent on showing the bank's vulnerabilities to robberies. Barney is just overwhelmed with the lack of security at the Mayberry Security Bank, so he decides to prove the point when he slips by the bank teller dressed as the cleaning lady, and he accidentally locks himself in the vault. He actually redeems himself in this episode when the crooks that robbed the bank are actually caught in their failed attempt to rob it. Barney has gone to the movies the night before with Thelma Lou and seen a movie that Glenn Ford was in called G-Men. Once Andy realizes this, he tells Barney, "That's what you saw. You saw Glenn Ford in G-Men. Now you're going to Glenn Ford it all over town." This episode is the second time that Barney dresses himself up as a woman. The first time was in the episode called The Bookie Barber. Now, it's pretty obvious that the Mayberry Security Bank at one time used to be Walker's drugstore, where Ellie worked. When Barney walks in the bank to take a look at their security measures, the song that is playing is the theme song for Mayberry RFD. Now, they consistently talk about Glenn Ford in the movie G-Men. He never actually starred in a movie that was called G-Men. There was a movie called G-Men that came out in 1935. It starred James Cagney. When Andy comes into the bank to try to settle Barney down, he tries to talk him into going over and eating lunch at the drugstore and having the businessman special, which is a hollowed-out tomato stuffed with avocados and raisins. Now let's take a look at the bank employees. Let's start with Asa Breeny. Asa is played by Charles P. Thompson. Charles was born in January of 1891, and he was basically a stage actor that progressed into film and then into television. He was born in Pennsylvania. He began his career on Broadway in the 1920s. At age 57, he made his film debut as a ticket taker in The Naked City in 1949. During his television career, he played an old man on Gomer Pyle USMC in an episode called Love Letter to Sarge in 1965. He also appeared in 2 episodes of Gunsmoke and 7 episodes of The Andy Griffith Show. He was also in 4 episodes of Bonanza. Now, Asa loves being a security guard. In the episodes that he starred in The Andy Griffith Show, he was in The Bank Job, which is the one we're talking about today. He was also in A Black Day for Mayberry. He plays Asa Breeny in that episode. He's in the episode called The Shoplifters, and he also plays Asa Breeny in that episode. In Barney's Physical, he actually plays Asa, but it's not Asa Breeny, it's Asa Bascom. He goes back to playing Asa Breeny in the episode called TV or Not TV. And then he plays Dr. Roberts in 2 episodes. What a great character Asa is. He was always sleeping on the job, and even though he was asleep, he knew that Barney was talking to him when he was asking him if his bank was secure. Charles Thompson died in 1979 at the age of 88 in Los Angeles, California. Now, the bank manager is called Mr. Meldrum, and he's played by Warren Parker. He was born in 1904 in Alton, Illinois. He was an actor and he's also a writer. He's known for a radio show called Lights Out that aired in 1946, and also a movie called The Power of the Resurrection in 1958. Then there was another series called The Third Man in 1959 that he was in. He was married to an actress that was very popular called Mary Patton. Now, he's primarily the bank president or the bank manager, but he also has some other roles in Mayberry too. In the episode Mayberry Goes Bankrupt, he plays Harlan Fergus. In the pickle story, he's one of the judges that's judging the kerosene cucumbers. He's also in Barney and the Cave Rescue, and he plays Mr. Meldrum in that. And Barney actually sees him trying to get into his bank when he has a cold. He thinks that somebody is actually trying to rob the bank, and he kind of gets made a fool of by the townsfolk. And then again in episode TV or Not TV, he also plays Mr. Meldrum again. Now, Warren Parker died in July of 1976 in Union Lake, Michigan. There's no grave location on Find a Grave for him, so I think he was probably cremated. Now, the last employee is Harriet. She's the bank teller, and she's played by Frances Osburn. Frances was a character actress that was seen in various television shows. She was born in October of 1920 in Ohio. She was in a whole bunch of television shows in the 60s, 70s, and maybe even into the early 80s. Most of these roles were one-shot deals where she played just a small character actor part. There are a few exceptions to that. In Mary Hartman, she played a nurse in 3 different episodes. She was in The $6 Million Man. She was in Kojak. She played a secretary in that. She was in Ben Casey, Have Gun Will Travel, The Danny Thomas Show. She was in 2 episodes of The Danny Thomas Show, but she played different characters. Frances died in August of 1997 at the age of 76 in Los Angeles, California. These 3 actors made the Mayberry Security Bank one of the most memorable locations that I can think of in Mayberry. You have Barney Fife getting locked in the vault and busting through the wall of the vault into the beauty shop next door, and you know you got a funny episode. I hope you've enjoyed this look at these crazy characters that played the employees of the Mayberry Security Bank. Thanks for the memories. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll keep chasing the classics.